We're back at Oceanic Arts,
the legendary business owned by LeRoy Schmaltz and Bob Van Oosting that made tiki possible around the world, supplying Polynesian and tropical decor since 1956 to everything from tiki bars to Disneyland. And we've been here many times together over the last 10 years or so. But tonight, this is something magical.
because this is Oceanic Arts like you've never seen it before.
Because tonight is the first night
Of Aloha OA, the shows, and then finally the auction that are going to send Bob and LeRoy off into final retirement
and close our beloved Oceanic Arts with a bang. In all the years and decades I've been coming here, I've never seen anything like this before. The street blocked off, dozens of people lined up,
literally all the way along the building and partially down the block. This is incredible. You see, what a lot of people never understood about Oceanic Arts is it was never meant to be a retail store.
It was always primarily a business-to-business business. And this magical warehouse that we all know and love just off of Whittier Boulevard here in the city of Whittier was just really the showroom. It was a showcase meant to display items that they could reproduce, to show samples of things that they could do,
with a few retail items scattered here and there throughout the building. But other than a few in-the-know tiki files, they rarely ever had a lot of in-person business, and never a crowd like this here.
A crowd that seconds from now is going to enter that green perimeter fence
And see their legendary tiki temple like it's never been seen before. Not just because there are stages set up, talks planned, bands about to perform, and a huge brand new A-frame front entrance, but because in all the years that Oceanic Arts has been in this particular location, it has never been emptied out of all the giant shelves and racks of bamboo, and never had its nooks, crannies, and attics raided so thoroughly to put every tiki totem, every incredible rental prop, hand-carved sign, and original production and architectural drawing possible on display here in a gallery-like setting in what amounts to a tiki collection, the likes of which the world has never before seen gathered together in one single place. And I mean that literally. Now, the bones of our familiar home turf Oceanic Arts are still here.
So much is on display still that we know and love. The primitive art section, all the stuff that Bob and LeRoy brought back from their big trip around Oceania and the Pacific. The old huts that were full of all kinds of tiki party supplies and tiki carvings are now converted into the bars and food area for the evening. The old nautical section is still right here in the back, and in fact all the guests are just about to walk through it, set up like it's never been set up before, complete with sounds, unbelievably epic lighting. And seriously, in all the decades I've been coming here,
I have never seen all of these props, all of these carvings, all of these amazing
masterpieces,
all arranged in a way where you could actually see them all, get at them all, inspect them all.
And that, of course, is because the auction, where all of us for the first time ever will have a chance to purchase some of these rental props and sample pieces and things that they reacquired from old restaurants and jobs from the heyday, the golden age of tiki. It'll be our first chance to ever at least get an opportunity to try and purchase them for ourselves. And that brings me back here to the next hallway that guests will have to walk through to get to the main attraction, to the main stage.
Behind me over here, you will see so much Oceanic Arts material, classic tiki era postcards, brochures, Oceanic Arts catalogs, even catalogs from Sea and Jungle, Cargoes by Carter.
And what's this? Old reference photos from their work at Disney's Polynesian Resort.
But then behind me, props that were rented out from time to time.
And on the other wall in front of me, the entire length of the hallway, something absolutely incredible. Something that's been hiding in this building the entire time, all the years I've been coming here, and even I never knew about the treasure lurking in the rafters. Oceanic Arts' master patterns, the original pieces carved by LeRoy Schmaltz, from which all of those amazing masks you see at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, theme parks all over the world, in fact, to say nothing of all the home tiki bars and countless restaurants, bars, and themed jungle, tropical areas all around the world, including the South Pacific Islands. These are the original hand-carved master patterns from which those were hand-duplicated, but still duplicated nonetheless. Dude, look at these. You know those masks at the entrance to Adventureland? These are the master patterns. You can see the mounting blocks on top here. I have an older one at home that is really worn down. My friend Spike has a couple, but most of them have stayed here at Oceanic Arts the entire time. You see these blocks, this is where they were mounted to the jig, where they still had to be, it's kind of complicated to explain, but they still had to be hand copied and then hand finished. So every single one of these that came out of Oceanic Arts, even though they were copies, they were handmade, probably by LeRoy or some of the other guys working here, and hand finished, often hand painted. But these are the originals. And speaking of originals, look at this. Look at all the incredible original drawings, original restaurant menus, postcards, brochures, invoices, catalog drawings, and custom designs for jobs literally all over the United States and the world. It's not just tiki history or mid-century modern history or Polynesian pop history. We're talking about themed entertainment history writ large, worldwide. This stuff is important in a way that few people have understood, because this whole time it's just sort of been taken for granted. That's Bob and LeRoy at Oceanic Arts. Don't worry about them. So while other people have grown in legendary stature, the two guys that had their finger in every tiki and tropical pie have gone heretofore largely uncelebrated. But that is very much changing, my friends, not just because of display items like this arranged out here so people can see them before the auction, but Peekaboo Gallery has gone the extra mile and transformed LeRoy's workshop back here and transformed LeRoy's Oceanic Arts workshop back here into a museum quality display, complete with more than 60 years of vintage tools and paint cans, and covering one of LeRoy's massive workbenches, which they got from 20th Century Fox way back in the day, by the way, with these cardboard mats that have all of his sketches here. There are plans and router patterns located along the walls, old tools and chisels, unfinished signs and tikis and masks, even the actual restored vintage chainsaws he carved some of the world's most famous tikis with. And I say Peekaboo Gallery put this together. Well, they put the event together, but all of this was actually coordinated by LeRoy's daughter, Edie, who's actually a really talented artist and singer herself. She came in here and put this incredible tribute to her dad together. It's hard to hear now with all the people coming in and out, but complete with sound effects and the final cherry on top, the giant wooden cutout of LeRoy Schmaltz himself. And I'm telling you, when you walk in this room, it is striking. Anyone who ever knew LeRoy, you see them stop and do a double take and go, whoa, it's LeRoy. I was here last week for the VIP sort of friends and family soft opening of this. I watched Bob and LeRoy get a proclamation from the city of Whittier and from the mayor. It's a little late. It's been 66 years, but better late than never. And it was a pretty amazing experience. But during it, I kept coming into this room and there was a little bit less light in here that night. And watching LeRoy's kids come in here one at a time and just get completely struck down with emotion. I mean, everybody was welling up. There was not a dry eye in the house when they walked in here and saw that cutout of their dad with his chainsaw. I gotta be honest with you, my eyes were getting very sweaty with respect last week as well, and I've been tempted to get sweaty tonight, but I keep trying to choke it down and think of something positive. LeRoy's always been so kind and generous to me, and just a wonderful guy. Last week, as they were rolling him in, he's in the wheelchair, you know, and everything now, he saw me and he goes, Justin, I've been praying for you. And I thought, for me? And he says, no, I've been praying for you, and telling me about how he's going to go see his wife in heaven someday soon. LeRoy's a big man of faith. It's very important to him, so he's always talked about that stuff to me as well. It's just, he's been an inspiring man to know, that's for sure. I can't put it any more mildly than that. Say anything stronger right now. I don't want to get choked up in front of the tiki people. There's a couple of amazing Easter eggs in here. There's a painting by LeRoy and his wife, Vivian, right up here, I believe. Back there is her picture on that back workbench. She was an amazing lady and a mother of a whole heck of a lot of kids and a grandmother to a whole heck of a lot more kids. The love of LeRoy's life, who sadly only just very recently, this past holiday season, passed away. So it's amazing to see the tributes to her in here. And then, of course, there's some artwork by some of LeRoy's grandkids. I'm sure there's references to all the kids in here. And like I said, it's put together by his daughter, I know his son-in-law helped restore the chainsaw and do a bunch of work in here. It's just absolutely incredible. But enough about LeRoy for the moment. Let's go try and find Bob before the shindig starts. Whoa, and would you look at the size of the crowd that's now come inside and seen the wonder and the glory. They have filled up the little area where all the mugs and glassware Oceanic Arts sold and developed and created is. All the amazing custom tiki lamps that they created for different restaurants all over the country, around the world. There's just so many artifacts everywhere in here. Which reminds me, we double have to find Bob because I want to tell you about this little tiki totem right here. Where is it? Oh, there he is. All right, Bob. Here we are in your warehouse, now turned into an event center. What do you think?
I'm bewildered. It just looks like paradise as far as the decor and all the people, and that's just...
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
But this is all your guys' work.
Yeah.
Is it weird to see it all displayed out in front of you like this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's strange.
It's great, but it's...
It must annoy you, though, because I know you're a working man. I know you don't want to be retired. You're going to be up to something really quick.
For sure.
So it's got to be kind of frustrating.
I'll be back here Monday, too.
Yes. There's people in my way. I got work to do in here. But you once told me you found something that you love that you never worked a day in your life. So, you still stick with that at the end of Oceanic Arts? Was it fun the whole time?
It was worth every bit of it. Good run.
Good run.
Yeah.
You were saying something to me the other day about the philosophy that it was never about money, but it was always about the customer.
That's right. Friendly customers, that's everything. We take care of our customers, we always have, get up the books if they want to talk about it, tell them how to build a tiki hut room, and that's part of our enjoyment of the business in 66 years.
And then now, here they all are, and the weird thing is they're all here to celebrate you guys, which is strange. I think up till now, all these other people you guys used to work with, Milan Guanco and all these guys have become legends. But everyone took it for granted that you and LeRoy are always here, always open. That's Bob and LeRoy. Now there's a book about you. There's all these people coming in and take selfies with you all night. I'm in here bothering you. It must feel good.
Well, I see all these people, and it's very busy. It's just like Jordan said, there's all these people here, and he said, I want to go home.
Yeah, you'll get a good night's sleep tonight.
This guy right here, that's one that I did for my mother, my first tiki.
That's your first tiki you ever carved.
Yeah.
What year would that be?
Oh, you're talking about the 50s.
Yeah, 1952
or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, because we started really before 56.
Yeah, because you started doing the palm frond mass and things.
Yeah.
How far back? In college, right?
What?
In college, right?
Yeah, we started just a little bit before that even,
What'd you carve this out of?
That was out of palm wood, and the top is, you've got plaster because the birds been pecking on that. They pick a hole in it, so we have
And that,
Easter Island.
was this the one that was carved out of the same log that LeRoy carved his first tiki also?
No, that one, his is a big one.
Ah. I can't believe that. So you carved this for your mom and you still have it?
Yeah, she died and I stole it.
Was it in the rental department all this time?
What?
Was it in the rental department all this time?
It was. It's been there for all these years.
Wow. And now someone could bid on it and take it home, huh? Weird.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a weird thought.
Yeah.
But at least they'll know a little more about the history.
Yeah. It's hard to see the bottom of it.
That reminds me, you saw the pictures of the tiki masks I've been carving. I've been copying some of your patterns.
Yeah.
Would you hire me?
Yeah, we'd hire you probably. You start out as a chiseler.
Yeah.
And as you go, we give you a better name.
Okay, so I'd still have to start at the bottom, but I might get the job now.
And you know what? You can't use your name first.
Right.
It's like the Bible. They'll give you a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you become a good chiseler, then we'll put you on full time.
Okay. But I'd get in the door. I'd get my foot in the door now with the work I've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I have your approval.
After about 60 years, we'll give you a key to the place.
Okay. Deal.
Yeah, dude, this is unbelievable. If you've ever been to Oceanic Arts, you'll know this whole back area is usually just stacked up with bamboo or giant lamps, orders that had to be sent to Saudi Arabia or Dubai or England or maybe Polynesia.
I was in here once, and this whole floor, all the way to where the stage starts, was stacked man high with crates full of tiki lamps just going to Disney.
So to see all these tikis that were, for the most part, stashed over in the rental department, now spread out over here. I can't remember exactly what Jordan said. this was called. It's sort of the like, ooh, the spooky part of the island, you know, the spooky idol part of the island. Ooh, it's just absolutely fantastic the way it's all displayed like a museum. And in fact, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, a museum could never do this. There's no museum on earth that could pull together a collection this valuable, this historic, or this massive of basically any Tiki, Polynesian Pop artist, or Tiki artifacts, or anything like that. It's legitimately a once-in-a-lifetime collection, a once-in-a-lifetime display, and this is the first of just a few public events running from now to the end of April 23rd or 24th, where the auction is. And that just might be the very last time there's ever an authentic, historically rich collection of this size ever together in one place, ever again. Ever. You know, literally, till the end of time, this might be it. Which is crazy. It totally transforms this from, hey, I'm in my old friend's business where I was a customer for many years and hopefully considered, a friend and not just a nuisance. And being honored that I'm here to, help celebrate their retirement and all that stuff. Just totally transforms it from that to, holy crap, I'm honored just to be invited to see this and to be a part of seeing this incredible collection. This one, I figured it out last week. I think this one right here, this Tiki totem, this fiberglass copy of totem that the original is on the other side. I rented this very Tiki, or this one of the twins here, for a party like in 1999, 2000, sometime like that. And I took it to the corner of, what does Lincoln turn into? Carson or South Street or something like that in Lakewood. I had it on the corner like, hey, look at this, big Tiki on the corner playing around with it. Don't tell Bob, actually. I don't think that's covered by the rental policy. I know we rented one of these giant punch bowls, the canoe punch bowls, and actually did put punch inside of it, Hawaiian punch no less. It wasn't one of the ones with the crocodile, so. Oh, you know what? I think it's that one right there behind that dude. I first found out about Oceanic Arts because I knew LeRoy's daughter Edie, the one that set up the display in the other room, from her band. So I came here to watch them practice like in the 90s sometime. I walked into this amazing place. I'm like, what is all this stuff? Oh, just, it's my dad's business. It's a bunch of weird like jungle stuff. Don't worry about it. We're here for punk reasons. I'm thinking, forget punk rock. Look at all this stuff, And that was my first introduction to Tiki, but before I knew what to call it, before there was the Book of Tiki or any of those things. I mean, just that place, Oceanic Arts, what even is that place? So we'd come here and rent stuff for parties and be like, how do I learn more about this? So to be here now when it's all come full circle, it's amazing that not only have I learned so much about this from knowing Bob and LeRoy over the years and sort of hanging around like a fly on the wall, but now Jordan from Peekaboo Gallery has shared that with the rest of the world, not just through this event and then through the auction and all that stuff, but I think even more importantly than all of this, through the Oceanic Arts book that I sort of reviewed and shared with you guys right before Allie went into the hospital. To me, this is the most absolutely essential and important part of the entire enterprise. The fact that for the first time, Oceanic Arts' whole story can be told here, and it really crosses over with so much other Tiki history. It's just so frustrating for Jordan from Peekaboo and for Bob and LeRoy that no one has the book in their hands yet because it's still stuck at the ports with all those shipping delays. So it is in the United States, it is in a shipping container off the ship. It's just still at the port as we speak here. That's why he actually had the auction catalog books, which are available here, printed in Mexico so that they wouldn't have to come from overseas. So still a very expensive book, but at least they're here, even though they were created long after the main book. Oh well, it is what it is, and I can promise you, if you get a copy of this book, The Godfathers of Tiki, you will not regret it. I sort of misspoke in my review of it, because I think I said that all the proceeds from this go to Bob and LeRoy. Of course they don't. A book's proceeds go to the author of the book, but the book sales were theoretically what paid for all the events, which put on the auction, the proceeds of which all go to Bob and LeRoy, and of course they're going to sell the building and everything else. So ultimately it's all going towards the greater cause, but I think I did misspeak about the book somehow, It happens, okay? I'm absent-minded like that. Anyway, I really think that book is the most important, most lasting part of this. But I am so honored and so excited to be here and so happy to be back inside of this building. Even if I am sharing the space with hundreds of other people, not just to hear people talk tonight and see bands, which you can kind of do anywhere, but just to really celebrate Bob, LeRoy, their 66 years of work, and start saying my goodbyes to what every other Oceanic Arts fan will also tell you. Always felt like your secret clubhouse or your private paradise in a way, you know. I was thanking Bob and LeRoy a few weeks ago when I was in here when this was a total mess. The shelves were coming apart. You cannot believe the work the Peekaboo Gallery people did, the transformation they did on this place. Not just from arranging the displays and coordinating the entertainment, building this epic volcano stage, which I'm trying to purposefully ignore, but literally up to things like fixing the roof from leaking when it was raining at the VIP event the other night and stuff. I mean, just they put in an incredible amount of work. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking to them and just saying that, you know, I don't know how often we're gonna all see each other in the same place. I just want to tell you both how much I love and admire you, you know, as men, as businessmen, as friends, as creators and artists. Of course, I was making a complete fool out of myself and getting all bubbling up and choking up and crying and anyway, the main thing was I told him, I was like, I'm just so grateful. Thank you guys so much, especially while I was going through my divorce and everything, for, you know, being nice guys to me and letting me come and play in their paradise here. And then I'm sort of like wiping my eyes, you know, Bob is looking a little misty-eyed himself, and LeRoy, and I'm like, I didn't come here to cry, I came here to tiki, you know? Oh, I'm gonna do it again, okay. Anyway, here we are on the other side of the stage in the old rental department. And if you remember, most of the tikis, almost all the tikis on the other side and over here were all in this little area with these orange lines on the ground. I mean, all squeezed right into here. So as familiar as all this looks to you, like, oh yeah, that's always the way Oceanic Arts has been. No, it hasn't. It has never been this clean. It has never been this organized. It has never been this display focused. Like I said, this was never a retail store. There was never one moment where this place looked quite like this. And yet, all of this stuff has always been here. All of this stuff is, you know, native, as it were, to the warehouse that we're in. So at the same time that it feels totally different and brand new and incredible and overwhelming, it also feels like you're right here at home, like you're right in Oceanic Arts where you've always been. I mean, look at this place. It is absolutely incredible. Like I say, there's never been a collection like this before. I'm hoping to come back another day and say our last goodbye, at least on this channel anyway, our last Oceanic Arts episode. Hoping to come here when there's no crowd. We'll see if we can manage it and go through these tikis again, because I've learned so much from the book that, you know, like which ones are Milan Blancos and Ed Christman's, and which ones were actually created by Sea and Jungle for restaurants, which ones have been in a movie with Robert De Niro. I mean, these were like rental content. Like I said, I rented some of these for parties and stuff like that. I've come and hugged all these guys and messed around with these tikis for years. I didn't know that this thing was in Casino or whatever, you know? Look at this here, this painting, one of LeRoy's, a couple of his paintings that were stashed around here in Oceanic Arts, but this one in particular, I've always been a huge fan of this one. And there's another one with moai on little islands that used to be stored way back up there in the rafters. Not sure what happened to that one, but you don't know how bad I want this painting. All of this stuff that's in the auction, I want anything I can get my hands on. Unfortunately, I just bought a van. Allie's going through her medical stuff. I owe a lot of money for taxes, and I'm not sure where I'm gonna come across it, so I honestly don't know how much I'm going to be bidding on. People are like, what are you bidding on? You know, I don't know. Whatever I can, but it won't be much. Financially speaking, personally, the auction could not be happening at a worst possible time. But you never know. I might hit the lotto this month or something and then take it all at the end. We'll see. Well, I'm so happy for whoever gets that painting right there. It's fantastic. And I hope they do what I've always asked LeRoy to do with it and make some prints, because look at that beauty. Yar, it be sad they be steering the ship back to port now. Oceanic Arts be closing down. All the salty old sea dogs will be returning to their shanties. I've met a lot of people here tonight who are like, this is my first time ever coming here. For them, it must be absolutely fantastic to see this. Kind of envious of them in a way, you know, but for me, it's like, and for a lot of other people who've been coming here for years and people who've been coming here for a lot longer than I have, it's very bittersweet. It's like fantastic that they're doing this, fantastic celebration. I mean, it's bittersweet for Bob too, you know, and LeRoy. But
It's a little bit heartbreaking, you know, so it's like I keep getting excited and happy and then getting really like choked up and emotional. It's a high, low, you know. Anyway, for this first night, there's a schedule over here in the front of the stage, which, by the way, has been transformed into an absolutely epic gargantuan volcano, complete with sound effects, smoke, fire effects. I mean, not literally pyro, you know, but definitely some epic special effects. All this is built for the final events that are going to recreate, well, maybe I shouldn't give it away too much, but they're recreating some legendary tiki shows on this stage this month. But it's all starting off tonight with the history of Oceanic Arts and the huge influence they've been. They'll have Sven Kirsten, the author of the Book of Tiki, along with Jordan Rychek, the author of Oceanic Arts. And then hopefully Bob and LeRoy are going to be getting up there as well in just a few minutes, followed by some musical entertainment up on the volcano stage. Next weekend, my friend Spike's band, the Hula Girls, is playing here. They're gonna have a whole Tiki Exotica night. I think there's actually an additional show added. It's sort of the same type of theme going on, so there's still a chance for people to come out here. I don't think that one's quite sold out yet, the additional night, that is. And there's a final event where all shall be revealed regarding that giant volcano and what it's for, and we'll see what kind of sacrifices it takes. And I believe there's an Easter event, which is like a family day, so people can bring their kids out here and experience Oceanic Arts before it's gone. And then finally, the auction towards the end of April. And then that'll be it. They'll still have the building. They'll still have the stuff that wasn't in this auction. I'm not sure how that it's all going to work out, if there will be a warehouse sale one day or what they're going to do. I'm not sure. But the major stuff, the main stuff, is all going in this huge auction in April. And although it'll be here for a little while longer after that so they can dismantle the rest of the business and sell the building and stuff like that, it'll never be the same. So, like I said, bittersweet. Bittersweet. So you'll have to forgive me if this month you're going to see more than one visit to Oceanic Arts, but it's the last possible time we could ever do this, so it means a lot to me. Wow, this is insane. Look at the way this place filled up. I have never seen this many people here, ever. Neither is Bob, I'm sure, who's busy signing autographs and taking pictures all night. For a second I thought someone had a copy of the Oceanic Arts book somehow, but it turns out that is Sven's Book of Tiki. Should have brought my copy. I just got a copy thanks to Parker Jacobs. Oh, look at this. This guy on the left you see here is a legendary Oceanic Arts employee from back in the day. Him and another employee here were just seeing Bob. It was the first time they were all together at Oceanic Arts last week. It's amazing. You're going to learn all about these guys in the book. I don't want to spoil it all. It's very weird being here, hearing old Oceanic Arts stories. Chris telling Jordan all these things. I'm like, you guys might have to start working on volume 2 of the Oceanic Arts book. Chris was saying, yeah, the stories those guys couldn't tell you, you know? Wow, look at this outside, you guys. Oh, the punch bowl has water in it. I'm still drinking out of the punch bowl. This is awesome. There's food trucks. It's quiet enough for conversation. What the heck is this? They're gonna have fire out here later? Yes. Ooh, I didn't even notice they had one of Oceanic Arts' huts and rental bars out here serving up drinks. And then whatever the heck they're cooking right there is the best smelling thing ever. Oh my goodness, that smells good. Gosh, listen to these guys. I didn't realize how much entertainment was actually going to be outside. They were supposed to have a simulcast on a screen out here of what's going on inside during the talks and performances in there, but unfortunately a technical glitch has occurred for this first week. A show is never without technical glitches. That's why I'm glad I don't play music anymore and I don't have to be on stage, you know. I'd rather have this gig and hang out with you guys, trust me. But at least the outside stage has still got its own unique performances.
Hey, don't be afraid to stand up and dance now.
Bob was just telling me one time Sven had an event here with about 35 people. And he thinks, off the top of his head, that might be the most people that's ever been in this place that didn't work here at one time. Ever. Boy, look at the bar. The bar has just been a madhouse. And I mean that in a good way, of course. There have been tons of people lined up for drinks, but I've seen nothing but smiles on everyone's faces. And the talks and main entertainment hasn't even started yet. One piece of art you won't see up on the walls is the picture of Bob and LeRoy that I drew. Even though they had a contract and everything's going in the auction, they let them out of that part with my artwork, and instead of my art having to go in the auction, Bob and LeRoy are going to keep it, which I thought was really sweet. That actually, see, I'm getting choked up again.
But guys, the stuff that's going to be for sale in here is just insane. If any of you were thinking about donating me $1 million, now's the time. I could use it for this auction.
Well, and for the IRS.
Ooh, this is absolutely the wildest thing I have ever seen in this place.
Santa Claus?
There are literally hundreds of people, and I never ever thought that many people would even fit.
Oh, I think they're going to start the presentations in just a couple seconds. Everybody's sort of slowly coalescing around the volcano stage. Dude, look at the size of this crowd. They've now filled the wings with chairs because they couldn't simulcast outside. Would you look at the size of that audience? Holy zamolians! Oh my goodness, I can see a whole pack of Schmaltzes in the corner. You got the Schmaltz family. There's so many faces here that I recognize. Look at the size. Where'd they get all these chairs from all of a sudden? Good. Oh, and there's LeRoy and some more Schmaltzes. There's Schmaltzes everywhere in here. How you doing, LeRoy? Dude, this is incredible. Okay, there he is, Sven Kirsten, author of the Book of Tiki. The presentations begin. No way we're going to be able to capture that on camera. Luckily, I believe Peekaboo is recording them for posterity.
So I'm so grateful for Jordan to make this, having made this decisive step in helping them to retire in this honor with a band, because I was always worried that it was going to happen with a whimper.
This is going to be more informal. It's more of a conversation between Sven and I about Oceanic Arts history. I think that's his second or third right now, so it's super good.
From dawn to the Maikai, from pre-tiki or tropical to tiki.
Definitely. I mean, the two biggest factors, I would say, are Steve Crane and the Luau and the Maikai and the Thornton brothers. It's funny to see the tropics here, because obviously that's the sacred ground that the Luau was built upon. Influences come in Southern California.
Jim Hyman called it the avalanche of bamboo.
And you'll learn a little bit about that too. Basically, it was coming to the point where it was becoming more theatrical. And the immersive dining experience was starting to take over. It's really Disneyland before Disneyland. Places like the Pirates Den in Hollywood was extreme theater. Nautical themed, it was all created by Hollywood art directors. Bob's father, John Van Oosting, who worked for Challenge Butter and Creamery Association his whole life. LeRoy, his parents, this is Venice Beach. Late 30s. You see how rural, look at the cow. And LeRoy grew up around farms in Venice. Interesting point was LeRoy and his family actually witnessed the War of 1942, where a Japanese sub shelled Santa Barbara. So here's LeRoy and his family. In the early 1950s, they moved to Pico. And here's... And here's Bob with his 49 Chevy Deluxe coupe. Now, if you remember that picture of his father, I want you all to witness the Van Oosting vehicular stance. So here they are in high school, and eventually, where they met each other in Whittier High School, by the way. Eventually, LeRoy went into the Air Force Reserves and Bob the Navy, and got married to LeRoy, to Vivian Louise Twitchell, who just recently passed away. I wish all you guys could have met her, because she's really wonderful, and they have an incredibly prolific family, I can tell you. So, deer in the headlights. And this is the beginning of this LeRoy. Basically, the two of them joined forces and started creating products. These are some of their first ones. These are their Mania surf charms. They knew the surfing craze was getting very big in Southern California, so they created these little amulets, which you might recognize the design. Bob, being the pitch man, came up with this, snake oil good luck pitch. Basically telling you that if you buy this thing, you'll get magical powers and you'll catch big waves.
So is that how mana is pronounced?
Manya.
Manya. Okay.
That's how Bob does. Every time I say mana, he corrects me. So don't ever do it. You'll have Bob in your face.
It's that manya.
Oh man, he's showing everything from LeRoy's first tiki. He's carving it up there on the screen. You see that? In the Rio Hondo River. Just talking about the entire history here. It's all in the book. Definitely worth getting that book, I'm telling you. And then they were talking about this tiki too, another one of the first ones Bob ever carved. It's crazy, man. If only the books had already showed up, most of these people would have already heard all this by now. It's kind of amazing. Maybe it's actually for the best it worked out.
Here's some more.
I can see this talk is blowing people's minds. Like, they didn't know how deep this history went. It's incredible, man.
You can see here's the first mini showroom, but you have to understand that really the warehouse is their catalog. And all of these pieces in here are basically one of a kind. What would happen is if you saw something in here you liked, they'd make it for you. So you were essentially standing in a catalog. And they've been doing it since the very beginning.
They're now discussing their big trip to Polynesia, which is what made Oceanic Arts so authentic, actually. Learning from the island cultures.
And why they created Oceanic Arts.
Wow, look at this old footage. That is one thing you definitely cannot see in the book. There's one thing I've been waiting for all night, and I'm very excited about. Here we go. It's time, LeRoy.
By the way. Cut his hands many times, and a lot of the pieces that were done for that.
Here we go. It's time for LeRoy and Bob to take the stage. LeRoy's son's there helping him get up there. And here comes Mr. Van Oosting himself.
So we have an artistic family all the way around, more than we realize. It's what I was just saying. And the other thing is that chaplain, they had a chaplain on board with their house, and he wanted to be with us. They asked him to stay the night. He asked to say, well, I want to be with my boys, and that was in Arizona. He never came back. He's with his boys.
Well, I'm just going to say aloha and thank you folks for coming here. Appreciate all of it.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for sitting through this long presentation, and on with Aloha away.
And that's it. Look at that. Two legends who worked for 66 years building the craziest tiki business in the world, literally enjoying their moment in front of their adoring fans, hundreds of them in this now very hot room, right here in front of the exploding volcano. As the bands prepare to take the stage. Bob and LeRoy. Look at that, that is incredible. Everybody's taking pictures of Bob and LeRoy. Well deserved, well deserved. Trying not to get all choked up here. I know the families probably feel the same way. Unbelievable. Something in my eye. Something salty. And wet. People have been giving them presents. Their old employee just handed them some letters. Who knows what kind of wonderful things are in there? There's a lot of emotions up here, right, buddy? Yeah, lots of emotions. Emotions! All right, here they come back down. The heroes of the evening. Love you, LeRoy. Love you, Bob. Both of you. That stuff is in my eyes. Even Santa Claus wants a selfie. Okay, well, I say haul away all the chairs and people get their selfies with Bob and LeRoy as they make their way out of the building. The musical entertainment is going to begin. in front of the epic volcano stage. All the tiki people, of course, are back to singing rum over here at the rum shanties. They're probably going to be going through quite a lot of that pineapple juice tonight. Ah, there's the wood original of those fiberglass tikis that have been rented out so many times. I told you it was in here. This is so crazy, man. I never thought I'd see anything like this going on in Oceanic Arts. You always wished you could kind of see something like this. Never thought it would happen, and it totally wouldn't have happened without the efforts of Jordan from Peekaboo Gallery. Their whole shtick is that if you have an amazing collection, or someone else you know has an amazing collection that they want to sell or part with, they find a way to make that happen where you get the auction catalog and a very fancy book out of it. You get the send-off that a big, awesome lifetime collection deserves, you know? And if the Oceanic Arts show is any indication, they do a heck of an amazing job. All right, let's get out of here now. Get a breath of relatively fresh air out here. There he is right there. There's Jordan. He hates praise and attention. Good job, Jordan. Wow, this is awesome. Ooh, look at this. Suddenly, the entertainment started going in a different direction. I'd see at Oceanic Arts, even though I know they work closely with other Polynesian cultures and supplied all the decor for events just like this. Never thought I'd see it actually happening in the front yard. Just getting Bob some water, make sure he gets some food. Hey, there's the Orange County Archives himself. Oh, look at this. Jordan's now giving a talk about the Master Pattern Archives. But even though I'm so fascinated by how they did everything here at Oceanic Arts, I really want to listen to it. I've been hanging out with Bob for the past hour or so. Him and Chris here that used to work for Oceanic Arts, they have been telling me a lot of stories, let me tell you. I wish I could get in a time machine, go back in time, and just work at this place now. Let's put it that way. I mean, I could just overhear them over there. This is Chris' wife. She's saying, it was a good life here. It's been an adventure, you know, so that's really the cool part going on in the background is all these people and all their memories. It's funny because this guy's like, you sold me 2 skulls, and earlier another guy was like, you came out and helped me do my tiki van. And another guy's like, you helped me build my pool. And Bob's like, I did? Well, darn. Alright, well, Bob was getting overwhelmed with requests for photos and stuff, and he had planned to be out of here and hadn't eaten. And as the tiki bar crowd has gotten a little more tipsy, I turned into Bob's security guard there for a little while, so I didn't do much filming. But you know what? It's more about the experience tonight. I think that the really important part with the Bob and LeRoy being celebrated on stage, we've got that out of the way. So I think for now, this is where we're going to end it. Next time we come back, hopefully we'll see the volcano stage erupt. I will give you a much closer look at some of these artifacts here, some of the tikis. But for this first main event night, it's just kind of a madhouse a little bit. It's a little bit of a party, a lot of bit of celebration, a little boozy. But as with the opening night of any show, you know, it's a little bit wild. It's coming together though, it's all coming together. But at this point, Bob and LeRoy have left the building. It was weird watching Bob leave, you know, and someone else having the keys. It seemed like it was a bit surreal for him to sort of leave, you know. It's like walking out of your house while a party's still going on and going, who's going to shut this down later? I guess it's still an adjustment for them to be headed into retirement. But it's such an honor and a privilege to be here, to see all this. I think Peekaboo Gallery, Jordan and his team have done an incredible job. I mean, just look at that stage alone. Next week, the Hula Girls are going to be on that stage. That's going to be incredible. And a very emotional night. We will, thankfully, be back again at least one more time. But for now, I think we've done all that we can do. We've done our duty. It's time to go home and sleep well, just like Bob and LeRoy have done now. So farewell for now, my friends. Aloha.
majored in art and Bob majored in business. You can see where this is going. LeRoy, of course, had very modernist leadings. You can see it in everything in here at Oceanic Arts. It's one of the things I think I've even taken for granted coming in here over the years, how the modernist influence, mid-century modernist influence on Oceanic Arts' design is driven by LeRoy's interest in it.
That's right. Friendly customers. That's everything.
And here they all are.
We had was it K channel 90?
Oh, yeah.
Or channel 5. When they came in here, they were here a whole day, but the one guy came in, there was a photographer, drives a big truck, goes up.
Oh, yeah.
And he pointed to me. He said, "You are the reason that I've been all through the South Pacific and Solomon Island and so forth." He said, "Get my camera. We'll take a look at him later."
Oh, that's amazing.
So, we take care of our customers. We always have. Get up the books if they want to talk about it. Tell them how to build a tiki hut room, and that's part of our enjoyment of the business in the 65th year.